Hello, welcome to the City of Waterloo Museum's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing 6 tips on how to date your Canadian whiskey bottles. We're at the Erb Grist Mill in Waterloo Park, so grab your bottles and let's get to dating. Tip 1. Look for the markings on the bottle. Some bottles actually have markings molded right onto the bottom, and these could include anything from specific maker's marks to even the year or month that the bottle was manufactured. If your bottle has some of these markings, do some research. A simple Google search will often provide information on these markings, which you can then use to date your whiskey bottles. Tip 2. Look for ages on the labels or markings from a specific year. Inspect the labels for any markings that would date it to a specific year range. These could include anything from the name of a distiller's name, or even the markings of a governor general or a famous person at the time. Tip 3. Look for tax or excise strips. Tax or excise strips are little paper strips that were typically attached over the top of the caps, and they bear the date that the youngest whiskey in the bottle was actually put into barrels for aging. And these can be used in conjunction with the age of the whiskey. And so, for example, if you had a bottle that was aged for 10 years and the excise strip on it said that the youngest whiskey was put into aging in 1939, then you know that your bottle could not have been sold to the public until at least 1949. Now bear in mind, Canadian excise strips stopped bearing the date of distillation in 1994. Tip 4. Inspect the language on your labels. Beginning in 1974, the Canadian government required that all alcohol bottles have their labels written in both French and English. So if your label is written in both languages, it's safe to assume that it was produced sometime after 1974. Tip 5. Imperial versus metric. Inspect the volume measurements on your bottle's label. Beginning in 1971, the Canadian government required alcohol distributors to switch over from imperial to metric units of measurement, and while the alcohol distributors tended to keep imperial units on their bottles, the inclusion of metric units will show you that it was produced after 1971. The final tip we have for you is to do a simple Google search of your bottle. If all else fails and the bottle you have is missing its excise strip and/or label, do a simple Google search and see if you can find a similar bottle online with intact strips and stamps. Keep a sharp eye out for subtle differences though. Any changing in the company name, the aging of the whiskey, or the distiller's name is probably cataloged somewhere online and can easily be found to help you with your searches. Best of luck!